Hi guys. Happy Monday. I am really excited for tonight's show. I always like to get on a little early and let everybody join. And I'll make an announcement a couple of times tonight, and I will keep you all up to date on what we're going to talk about this evening as well, because we've got a fun show. Is that all these people right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
People popped in.
Hi, Nicole. Hi, Annie. Look, there must be a delay over here, Dave. I don't see it over here.
Yeah, that will only show you the comments.
Okay, Karen, hi. Somebody says, that looks yummy. We are celebrating tonight, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Ah, Makeup Queen. That's so nice. Thank you. I have had such a great week. Hi, Leslie. Nice to have you tonight. And I hope that you guys all did too. I do have a little special cocktail, and I'll wait until 6 o'clock sharp, depending on where you're tuning in from. It does look super yummy. Suzanne Summers official. Cheers, Suzanne Summers official. You want to come on in?
Yeah.
So tonight, we are celebrating because guess what? Dave's birthday is on Wednesday. So happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you, Heather.
And tonight we're going to give Dave a makeover.
Well, that's a great birthday present. Thank you.
But no, you're not going to shave?
I think I'm good.
No, Dave's not shaving? Okay. Okay, Dave's not shaving.
Cheers, everyone.
All right, Dave says cheers, everybody. Dave is celebrating his birthday on Wednesday, so I thought we could do something a little fun. And this is just going to be a sidebar from the makeup tutorials because I have lots of good stuff. I don't want to move the phone or the camera, but if you could see the table, it's jam-packed. So a couple of things. What we're going to talk about tonight is I did what we talked about last week already. So I've got foundation on. I've got a little contour on. I went with the high cheek blush placement today. And I'm going to have to repeat all of this because I just dove right in and everybody's not quite here yet. But we're going to talk about glowy summer skin. And I'm going to give a couple of tutorials on like finishing. So over here, I've kind of finished my brow. I did what's called a tight line. I'm going to tell you what that is and what that means in a minute. Over here, I haven't really done anything yet except for kind of my base and some blush. But, oh, lots of birthday wishes coming in for you, Dave.
Thank you, everyone.
So as a sideline, I thought it would be fun. Hi, Joanne. Welcome into the show. I'm so happy to have you tonight. I thought it would be fun for us to impart a little bit of wisdom on Dave. And Dave, you don't have to say how old you're turning or how young.
I'm not ashamed. I'll be 39 on Wednesday. 39.
39? You've got a baby face.
Thank you.
I would have guessed Dave maybe 32.
Comes quick.
Yeah, it does, right? Well, he says it comes quick. Do I remember 39? Give me my little violin. I got to start really thinking back. Actually, you know what? Aging is a privilege. Don't we all know that? Oh, hold on. Annie says, I did your tips for the apples on the cheek for a non-sunken look, and it works. Yay! Oh, Annie, I'm so glad that you liked it. I'm so, so happy. It does work. I went a little higher tonight. So I did kind of the higher blush, but what Annie's talking about, if you weren't here last week, I talked a little about blush placement and what a difference that can make in the shape of your face. And if you put it on the apples of your cheek, it's going to give your face a more rounded appearance. If you want kind of a lifted, like snatched, like super tight ponytail like I have tonight, then you do your blush placement just a little bit higher. But I did receive lots of messages. Hi, Karen. Hi, Audrey. Welcome to the room. I did receive a lot of messages, and if you're not following me yet, give me a follow. I promise I'm going to get better about posting, please. Facebook messengers, sketchy. Sometimes I can get them, sometimes I can't, and I've done my best to keep up with those. But Instagram, and I think I'm Heather Hall Official. If I'm going to ask you to follow me, I should know my name, right? Yummalicious drink, yes. I did make, Dave, Suzanne actually taught me the beauty of tequila. Rare Donuts, it won't let you post as Judy again. I'm going to have to remember now, Judy loves Rare Donuts. You might not love Rare Donuts, but that's just how I'm going to remember. Hi, Judy. I'm happy to have you. I did it for my daughters. I did my daughter's wedding makeup from your tips and she looked beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, Michelle, I wish that we could post photos. Darn, darn, darn. Oh, I bet she looked gorgeous. Did she have nice weather? They say that if it rains on your wedding day, it's supposed to be good luck. So whether she had beautiful weather or not, many blessings to your beautiful daughter and her wedding. Hi, Pretty Garlic. Hi, Maria. Hi, Tammy. If you've not heard, I'm just going to continue to welcome everyone in. It's Dave's birthday on Wednesday. So if you want to drop some wisdom, Dave's turning 39. Thank you, Joanne. I got this dress probably like maybe 10 years ago. I'm a hoarder with my closet. I never throw anything away. Oh, yes, Michelle, I'm glad you got beautiful weather for her wedding. This dress is super old. I got it at a little boutique here in Minnesota, and it was probably like 10 years ago, but thank you. I appreciate that. And the weather was beautiful. I'm so happy. Well, Dave is turning 39 on Wednesday, and if you've got a little wisdom, you want to drop Dave, something that you've learned in your years or a birthday wish. Dave's going to be as much a part of the show as he can. We are going to talk makeup tips. So we talked cheeks and kind of some contour. I gave you the tip about contouring here, the pupils. Nothing goes inside the pupils.
Birthday twins.
Birthday twins.
Me and Pretty Garlic.
Yes. Oh, happy early birthday to you. 76 on Wednesday. Happy early birthday. Diane Elliott. So wait a minute. Are we all Leos? We've officially kicked off Leo season. My birthday is coming up too. I'm also a Leo. Well, happy early birthday, Pretty Garlic. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the products that I'm going to use. And then maybe you already have some of these, maybe you have something similar, or if you want to go online and grab them, I know that there's a bunch of great stuff online. There's always a coupon code that you can use online as well. So definitely grab some of the things. But before I get started, I'm just going to do a quick run through of everything I'm going to use in case you want to drop it in your cart. And then if you see something that you like, you can just click checkout real quick. Somebody says I'm a Virgo. Rose is here from Michigan. Another Leo, August 7th. One of my good friends was a Leo, and she's like, I love it when we celebrate our birthdays together because as Leos, we say, well, let me tell you more about me. Which, I don't know, Dave has always struck me as like so super down to earth. But wait a minute, a Virgo, so Karen and Pinkweed are both Virgos. Tammy says happy birthday, hope it's awesome. And Dave, what are you and Princess doing?
We're going to a nice restaurant in Minneapolis.
Nice, yep. Nice. I can't remember if I told you this or not, but Dave's girlfriend her name is Izzy, and she is, if you could imagine Tinkerbell as a woman, that's his girlfriend. She is so delightful and so kind and so sweet, and I worked with them for many years together, so I really love her too. Mine was June 22nd. I'm a crab, you're a Cancer.
22 Club.
22 Club, yay. Sandy says hi, hi all, hi all. Ooh, a lot of you are jumping in tonight. Let me just cover quickly. Well, first of all, if you've got something to drink, cheers to 39 magical years. Yes. And Dave is as wonderful on the inside as he is handsome on the outside. Oh, he's kind and smart, and I've always loved Garrett and Dave both. Worked with them for years at the network, and I try to take anybody I can with me to continue. So, Dave, yes. We love you. We love you too. Cheers, cheers to everybody at home. Also, cheers to all of you that just celebrated or are getting ready to celebrate a birthday. Whew.
It's good.
Dave.
Celebrating.
I'm going to look like my little 9-year-old granddaughter after doing makeup with a couple of sips of this one. I better be careful, ladies. I say I better be careful as I take another drink. All right. So what we're going to talk about tonight, and bring your questions in, is we all know and love Suzanne and her entire family and everything that she's brought us and done for us. And one of the things that, I don't know if you felt this way, but I did. I was very, very skeptical. I love clean beauty. I've always really believed in it, wanted to use it exclusively. Clean makeup was a bit more of a challenge because, Upbeat Caviar, also Leo, August 10th, happy early. Well, first of all, when you work on camera, you wear much thicker makeup. Like right now I've got, big bright lights, but on telephone, my 9-year-old daughter laughed. 9-year-old granddaughter, she could probably do better than I could after this tequila. We wear heavier makeup. Now tonight I'm not wearing a lot of heavy makeup. I did my moisturizer. I did put a primer on this evening because I wanted my makeup to grip, and because I'm gonna lean way in, I wanted to be able to show you a lot of details. And sometimes if I don't wear a primer and I'm trying to do a tutorial, and I use a light hand, because nothing worse than messing up on camera and then I gotta wipe it off and start over. It's just easier for me to show more defined lines with a primer. So I am wearing foundation. I am wearing honey, in case you are about my shade. I do have on the medium dark concealer. I did that up in the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, under the eyes just a little bit. Did some contour. So the products I'm gonna talk about tonight, and before you come for me for my eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna show you what I did, okay? Because I got a little hack for some eyeshadow. If you don't have a cream shadow, I'm gonna show you how to make one. So there's 2 beautiful eyeshadows without plastic, without chemicals, without harsh ingredients. We are using tapioca powders. We are using mineral colors. We're using raspberries, cranberries, oranges, bamboo powder, lightweight, airy, healthy things for your skin that actually lets your skin breathe. They go on like a veil of coverage. They're so light. What foundation color did you use, or just primer? Valid shouter, if my skin looked like this with no foundation, you probably couldn't tell me anything. I would have such an attitude. No, I did use foundation, and I used honey. And I believe I've got the sand out here. And, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. My bad. I used sand. Let me show, I'll show you my color anyways. Now, when I get a little tan, I do mix, that's why I brought this one out. I do mix a little bit of the honey, and I don't want this to squirt anywhere, so I'm just gonna. Okay, so the foundations, we've got porcelain, sand, bronze, mocha. What you're gonna see is aloe vera leaf juice in these, tea tree rosemary oils, jojoba serum, sunflower seed oils, calendula, cucumber extracts. They blend beautifully. They give great buildable coverage. You can see that they go on like a second skin. They don't at all feel heavy or chalky. And when you first look at them, to me, they looked very warm, and I tend to pull rather cool, like I did my colors one time when I was a winter. I pull a little bit on the cool side. So I want you to know that because we're using a lot of minerals, they are pigment adjusting, so they definitely will self-adjust to your pigment. Now, we come in a lot of different colors, so if you have a couple of shades and you want to blend them together, you could certainly do that. But I'm just going to show, because I'm going to wipe that off. No scrubbing, no tugging. Your skin feels great afterwards. It's just really, really pretty. So I used a primer and I used a foundation, and I did use a little bit of a concealer as well. But what I'm gonna cover this evening is we're gonna talk about how to give yourself like a no makeup, but just more polished look. What are the key areas on the face to finish? So if you've got 3 minutes, if you've got 5 minutes, or you've got 15 minutes, I'm gonna cover all of those. And I'm gonna be showing both of the shadows. So we've got ivory, flesh, cocoa, and coral. This is gonna be your essential neutrals. I'm gonna do a lot of the golden shimmers tonight because I love a beautiful shimmer, and Suzanne did it so well. Hers are not glittery, and they're not too, if you do something that's got too much shine, a lot of times it'll settle into our fine lines and wrinkles. So this is gonna have stone, sparkling champagne, topaz shimmer, and spun gold. I'm gonna tell you why a little piece is carved out as well. You will see me bring out her eye cream. I'll tell you why. I do have our beautiful shimmer stick, and then I've got her translucence powders. So this is the medium dark, and this is the light medium. And then I also grabbed the bronzer. To finish it all off, I will give a couple of tips on mascara. Now her mascara, I'm just gonna start with something really quickly. Suzanne's mascara is really great if you want like long flutter glamour lashes. First of all, this is a very buildable formula. There is no glue in her mascara, so there's not any of the tight binding agents that a lot of mascaras have. And I just want to go to my notes to make sure. It's got aloe, cocoa butter. What I want you to do is when you're using her mascara, and this is the last thing I'm going to apply tonight, I want you to take your time in between coats and really let it dry. Sometimes I even take a tissue and I wipe off the excess, and I'm going to show you why I do that. But let's get started. And I'm going to start with just kind of some basic tips. So on this side of my face, I did two things that on this side I haven't done yet. And by looking, it probably doesn't seem super obvious, but this side looks just a little bit more finished. The two things that I did on this side that I haven't done on this side is, number one, I just filled my brow in a tiny bit. In the 80s, well, we've done everything with our brows, from the 70s where we didn't have any to the 80s where they were big and bushy. The 90s, we tweezed them all off again. They've been every shape, they've been everything. I have like very expressive brows. Somebody told me once that I should stop getting so much Botox for my eyebrows, and I was like, don't have Botox. They're just naturally super pointy. I showed them a picture of my grandson Jagger because he's got the same brows. But a couple of brow tips. I love to use her shadows to fill in my brows. And what I will do is take just a very simple, small little brush, and I'm going to do it to this side. You can really use either. The shimmers are going to be a lot lighter, and they don't have so much shimmer that it doesn't work. For tonight, I'm going to use the deeper brown, and I'm just going to dip. Now remember, when you're using mineral products, or maybe you didn't know this yet, but when you're using mineral products, I'm just going to make a mess right here on my desk. You always want to tap some of your product off. Her makeup will last a very, 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 very long time. Super long. My daughter Bailey can tell you about that. She's going to come and do a little tutorial with me. I'm going to dip just a little bit of a lighter brown as well. Tap, tap, tap. So for a brow, there's a couple tips I want to give. I don't start in the middle because your powder is going to load the heaviest when you first start. So I go just to the natural shape of the brow. Now this is a pretty cool trick that I just learned. If you curve your brow down like it naturally does, it will draw the face down. And it sounds a little wacky. Hi Rebecca, hi Active Burger, but I want you to think of the tail of the brow and try to keep it as straight as you can. So if you look right here, my natural curve is pretty far down, but on this side it looks just a little more straight. I did that just by my own doing. Now I'm just going to take, I've got a little bit loaded, and you can see down here I still have more brow, but what I'm doing is just going a little more straight to the side. I got some tips here if I just want to lighten the color a little bit, and then I will tap, 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 and then I'll go to the center. And here, natural brows are very, very kind of in right now. I still like to fill them a little bit because as we age, our hair becomes more sparse. I almost made a divorce joke, but I'm not going to do that. Sparse. Just a sip of tequila and I start. So as your hair just kind of naturally thins, that really happens kind of everywhere. So just filling them in a little bit. What will age us a lot is filling them in very, very dark. So I tend to go lighter on my brows than I think I need, and I remember that I can always build. So you can see that my natural brow would have gone down, but I kind of just went out to the corner a little. Now, they're not perfect, and they're not perfectly even. Brows are cousins, not sisters, and they don't have to be twins. So, does that look all right? Not totally even, but pretty good, right? That's my goal with makeup. I'm like, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to make me feel a little better. Then I'm gonna take a spoolie. If you don't got a spoolie, a regular little soft toothbrush works, and I kind of comb it up, and then I always comb up and out with the brow, up and out. If I overdo a brow, I'll take a little dusting of powder and just kind of cover right over it. So now, again, not perfect, but not too bad. There's a brow that's finished. This next one is, I don't want to say it's advanced, But if you can learn how to do this, it will make such a big difference. And I'm going to get really, really close to the camera. I want you to look at my lash line. On this lash line, if I pull back, there's nothing, right? This is called tight lining. On this line, you see how it's just a little darker? So as our lashes become more sparse, when you look at youthful lashes, they're really tight, they're really clumped together, just like the hair in our head. As they become a little more sparse, what that does is it can make your lashes look very, very thin. So there's this trick that says you can it's called tight lining. And what you can do is take an angled brush, something pretty sharp, okay? I am gonna go with dark brown. Black is great, but it can be pretty severe. Most of us are gonna look better as we're getting up there in age a little bit with just a nice dark brown. Now, bear with me. Thank you, Laura. This is a dress I've had for like 10 years, but I appreciate that so much. So tight lining is going to be, imagine trying to fill in the sparse areas in between your lashes. And here's how I do mine. So I take my lash and I lift very gently, and I take my brush and I go right up as close as I can to the lash line. Now, if you want to do this with a pencil, see how that's already working? You can do it with a pencil. I like, especially as you're starting, a little bit of a slow build. I'm tapping off that extra powder, and then I will take a brush, so I'm not smudging my makeup with my fingers. Very rarely will I pull at my skin, because once my skin starts to relax, like you can see, well, if I get close, see how this is like the eyelid? Right here is kind of spilling forward. I'm gonna tell you how to work with that as well. But what you don't wanna do is lift your lid and do your makeup, because your lid is just gonna come back down. But I'll take a brush and I can pull back. And what I'm trying to do is basically just flip my lash line. So I go right inside. Now, it doesn't look like I'm wearing eyeliner, and these are just my personal tips. There's lots of makeup tutorials out there. I just like to do things that I have found worked for me, and I've had other people educate me throughout the years that will work for eyes and skin in my age group. I'm 53, turning 54. Born in 1973, pretty sure.
I lose count too.
Same. I'm turning 53 or I'm turning 54. Does powder get in your eyes? That's a great question. No, and here's what I have found. So if you want to, you can take your brush and you can wet it just a little bit. And I'm gonna show you on my hand. The shadow that I used, Michelle, was the brown from the Essentials palette. But if you're working with the shimmer shadow, you could also use that darker stone color if you want to. So I just take the brown and I tap, and then it doesn't even need to be one solid swipe. You could put your finger right behind your lash and just tilt your lashes back. And it doesn't even need to be like, what you're trying to do is just basically fill in between the eyelashes. If the brows and your line like that is all you do, and then you take, like a shimmer gold or a simple white, or you do a swipe of bronzer, already your makeup looks finished. So that's like your 2-minute or your 5-minute quick, like I'm out the door. It looks like I'm not really wearing makeup, but at the same time, it looks like I'm finished. So, Bumpy Soap says, you're beautiful. Thank you. My skin is, well, I appreciate that. First of all, it's very kind. Thank you. I have to thank Suzanne, because I've got her products on tonight, so I'm wearing foundation and concealers. As far as brushes, I think this set was like from Target. Not at all expensive, but I'm using a little angled brush. Next, let's talk about eyes. So the older we get, we almost have to, kind of like when we were talking about the apples of the cheek and blush, and I was saying you can create the shape that you want, we can do the same thing with our eyes. So even though like you might have some of that skin that's like tilting forward on the lid, and of course all of us are gonna have this at different varying degrees, depending on the age that we are, I'm gonna show a couple of tips for recreating the type of eye shape that you feel looks best on you or that you want to have. after a sip of tequila. If I just wanted simple, I could stop right here, put some mascara on, and this is like a no makeup but still finished look. If I want just a touch of color, our bronzer is beautiful. It's very soft. It's really nice. I'm just going to put some on my hand. It's not real deep in color. It's like a wash of color. Instead of looking like an Oompa Loompa or too orange, remember we're using bamboo powders, tapioca powders. We're not using binding. We're not testing on animals. We're not using any plastics. We're using oranges and tangerines and raspberries and natural fruits for the color. So it's all really healthy for your skin as well. So I could take a shadow brush and just go into the eyes and, you know, like into the crease just a little bit with the bronzer. Do they have a cover stick foundation? I don't believe so, but that is a great suggestion. What they do have are concealers, and I look at those as like almost like a color corrector. They come in a little pot. I didn't bring mine out tonight because I was gonna do some eye tutorials, but Gold Potato, I love that idea. And Suzanne Summers' team, if you guys are there, let's note that down because a cover stick foundation would be great. Similar to this. I would really like that. So why did I chisel out part of my eyeshadow? If you want a cream shadow, now please don't come for me because I'm not a professional makeup artist, but I've done makeup a lot. I've had my makeup done a lot, so I've got some like user-friendly at-home tips. This is Suzanne's eye cream. I love her eye cream. I love it, I love it, I love it. It is, it wasn't even in the show tonight, but I brought it because I wanted to use something. It is a beautiful, creamy consistency. Before you start doing your makeup, you wanna do a nice hydrated under eye, let that absorb, okay? Then, what you can do is take a smidge of the eye cream, not very hygienic, I know, but I'm just gonna show you, I wanted to grab something, and I'm gonna carve a little of this shadow out, just a little tiny bit, okay? If you've got a palette that has seen better days, just took that powder, and now I'm gonna blend them together. And the color that I did was the sparkling champagne. I did this top corner. So this is now a little cream eyeshadow. Love it. You can take it, and I'm gonna put it on this eye. Just gonna do a little tiny, tiny tap. I'm gonna wipe off the excess because you only need a little bit. And then I'm gonna tap it in. Now there's other products, and you can see that's just a nice little pretty, barely there coverage. You can put more color in or less color. You can do this with any of her products. You can make your own shimmer oils. There's lots of different things that you can do. She has great shimmer oils, but I liked giving you, because I talk a lot about cream products after the age of 50, and you can see like that is not creasing in the lid. It just gives like this nice little wash. And we know that it's good because it's our eye cream. So I digress. I carved into it to give you that idea. I prefer to use an eye cream because I know that it's safe for the eye area. And yes, this is an incredible eye cream. Silky smooth, beautiful, wonderful. So if you're wondering why did I chisel into my eyeshadow, that was why. Next, I want to talk about hooded eyelids. Now, because we did that tight line, what we don't have to do is a liner on top of the lid. And for me, as my eyes have started to age, and like the skin has started to kind of fall, what was happening was my eyeliner was ending up here all the time. And then everything was just looking so muddy and everything was kind of blending together and it just wasn't looking beautiful. So, oh, somebody says wonderful tip. Sometimes powder shadow could be put on by itself. There's a certain age, no shimmer eyeshadow. You know, Gold Potato, I'm gonna fight that one until almost the very end because her shimmer, I mean, to me, I just think it's such a pretty light shimmer. I'm not disagreeing with you at all because I've heard that so many times. But if you're a glamour girl, and I don't know, I love a little shimmer. I'm going to be doing a little shimmer at the end. A matte finish though, definitely like for photographs and things like that, yes. But the tip that I want to give is I'm going to take a brush. Now, this brush that I'm going to use, again, very inexpensive. The type of brush that you use is really important. Do you see how this is not really fluffy? Remember, the fluffier the brush, the more it's going to move the product around. That's why when you do powder, you use big fluffy powder brushes because it's going to give like an overlay. What we want to do for the eyes, and there's two different ways I'm going to show you. You can use a flat brush like this, or you can use a brush that's just a little tighter like this. This is a great trick. A real makeup artist taught me this one, and I thought it was genius. Do you guys want me to use the shimmer, or do you want me to use the essential neutrals? Someone says, I'll never give up my glimmer eyeshadow. I'm almost 60. You and me both, sister. But let's go online and vote real quick. Do you guys want golden shimmer or essential neutrals? Whichever I hear from first is the ones that I'm going to do. I got one for shimmer. There's a little bit of a delay. And I can start talking you through the process while you guys get on and say if you want shimmer or, we'll go shimmer or matte. Oh, 50-50. Maybe I'll do one eye with one and one with the other. Two for shimmer. Okay. I'm going to do this side with the shimmer. I'm going to do this side with the essential. Okay? We can do that. So if you are looking in the mirror, I've got a mirror in front of me here, and you're doing your makeup and you're looking down, you are naturally already covering a lot of that lid. So what we want to do is we want to apply the color in the area that it is going to look like when we're facing each other. So I swear sometimes I can talk and sometimes I'm like, that didn't make sense to me and I'm the one saying it. It's the illusion. So we're going to create a higher, like the almond, like the hollow into the eye, the crease of the eye. We're going to create a higher crease and it's going to look crazy. I'll close my eyes and I'll show it to you before I blend it and you're going to think there's no way that's going to come together, but it does. And this is something I learned from a makeup artist in New York many, many years ago. Her name was Anne and she was so great and I loved working with her. So tapped off any excess powder. I'm going to stick with pretty light colors. I like the topaz, so I'm going to go down here. Now this is the side, remember, that I've got the eye cream, so I already have a little bit of a shimmer to it. And I'm going to just swirl. And who remembers? We're loading the brush. So we're tapping the product in. Swirl, tap. I'm still going to do that. Now, try to avoid swooshing your brush in because if powder is going to fall off your brush, it's going to go to the inside of your eye. So I take this and I do dots where that crease would look. Now look at how close I am to my eyebrow. My natural crease is all the way down here. Can you see that? How close it is to my lash line? But what I'm doing is I'm recreating that crease and I'm not brushing, I'm dotting it in. And you're going to do it with your eye relaxed. Don't do this. So as much as you can, look straight ahead, dot, 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 pupil and out, never inside the pupil. So a little bit of a dot. Now let me close my eyes. You can see how high that is, right? You can already see that it's starting to kind of lift the eye. Now I'm going to take a clean brush. This one's clean. And this is important. As you blend, don't blend in and out. You want to take and you want to blend up and out. Up and out. So there, can you see that, how I kind of recreated the crease? But if I close my eyes, my natural crease is actually right down here. So it's just a touch, it's not real dark. And then if you want something kind of glamorous, you want to go under the eye, again, very, very light. You're going to take that same fluffy brush. I have hooded lids to the point where you can hardly see my lower lid. You're going to want to go as high as you possibly can. Like you can go almost right under the brow bone. Now for the under eye, I go just to the corner. Remember, I'm not doing anything from the pupil in. The corner. And then I'm going to create a line. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to fluff that up. up and out. So there is a shimmer, look. Now let me go in with the essential neutrals real quick. Guys, I'm already 30 minutes in. Ah, I knew this was gonna happen. A drink of tequila is gonna make me move faster. I am just gonna quickly wipe off these brushes. This is what we all look like at home when we're doing our makeup, right? Like stuff like this laying everywhere. I hope so. Okay, now with the neutrals, this is really nice. This is kind of a pink. This is very, very dark. I'm gonna stay away from this one. I'm only gonna use this one to tight line and as a liner, or if I wanna do a smoky eye, but I've really gotta blend it out. I'm gonna go to the brown, and I'm gonna do a little tap, and then I'm gonna mix it up here. I'm gonna kind of take and mix the two of them back and forth. And I'm gonna show you on my hand how that looks. So I'll dip into the brown, dip into the white, tap it in, and that's kind of the shade. So it's gonna look kind of like a mushroom shade. I find that this palette tends to run on the cooler side. Oh, thank you, Radiant Caviar. That means so much to me. I really appreciate that. So now I've loaded my brush, and this is what my palette looks like afterwards. By the way, this is like my palette. I use this palette quite a bit. These last for so long. So swirl, swirl, load it, tap it, and I'm gonna go above. So my crease, my natural crease is right here. I'm gonna create by looking straight into the mirror with my eyes relaxed, a crease that is up here. Now before I do any blending, I went darker on this eye. Can you see how different that is? My crease is down here, but I created a crease up there. And that's how it looks before I start to blend it. And you saw how I did that. I tapped it in. A very light hand is very important. Take my clean brush, clean it. Somebody says, should be an hour. I know I'm gonna go a little long. I always do. And then remember, no going inside, because if you start going inside, you're blending. That's gonna blend shadow onto the inside, all right? So now I'm gonna take and gently swirl that color, and I'm gonna just swirl up and out, up and out. See how nice, her shadows blend so beautifully. Now, if you're gonna go in the under, this is the cool. So the Essentials palette, in my opinion, is a little more cool than the Golden Shimmer. But they're both really beautiful. This is the Golden Shimmer side. This is the Essentials. So now I've taken that. I am gonna take a flat brush. Now, when you go to do the under eye with a color that is not a shimmer, okay? I want you to use a smaller brush, something pretty flat. Shimmers are a lot more forgiving, and a shimmer you kind of smoke in the under eye, so it looks, think of like Bridget Bardot, or like, oh, what was her name? Classic Beauty, Sophia Loren. Like, you know, that kind of smoky, beautiful, like kind of just woke up, rubbed my eyes, and now they're beautiful. I don't look like that in the morning, by the way. If you're using matte shadows, you're gonna need to be a little more precise. So I'm gonna take a sharper brush, and I'm still gonna kind of go back and forth, still gonna load it, and now I'm only gonna go to the outside. I'm gonna dot, and then anytime I blend, I'm only blending up and out, because if I blend in, all of my makeup is gonna get into this area that I've put my concealer. Oh, hi Linda Lou, welcome in. If you can, what I also do if I've got a really big event is I will do my eyes first, and then I'll wipe everything away, and then I'll do my foundation afterwards. So this, and I like to go straight up. Like I'm going directly towards my brow. There we go. And I haven't worn shadow in a long time, but I'm gonna pull out my golden shimmer. Good for you. Stay with me, because I'm gonna show you a couple other places to use that golden shimmer. And then, now this is just my clean brush. I'm gonna go in and kind of clean it up underneath. So there's a more matte cool. This is a more shimmer. Do you ever wonder why you get so many brushes in the kits and you're like, what do I do with that brush? Another great tip. Oh, I'm already late, so I might as well go late, right? Might as well. These flat brushes are great for doing, like, if you want to do a light color or you want to just define underneath your brows. The best thing to use is your finger. I'm going to show you that on this one. And because my eyes, like when I look down, I don't know, they're like getting a little more squinty. I'm going to use my pinky, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into this little champagne color. Look at how much pigment. I just got to show you. It's not like a disco ball. So I'm going to take. What? If they argue 30 minutes is 90, you guys are going to get me in trouble. If you put it on your pinky and you just dot, look at that transfer. That's probably going to deliver more color than any brush. And what I like about using my pinky, and you can just go a little to the corner. So now you see how that kind of brightened the inside of the eye? You can also take the shimmer and do down the bridge of your nose, just a little bit. You could take that. You could go just to the top of the cheekbones, a little bit. We don't have to get crazy, although Dave's birthday is Wednesday. Dave might feel a little crazy. I did do a little shimmer on the nose like that. So this side is shimmer, and I'll do mascara next. One more thing. This is something I feel strongly about for the shimmer, and I do love a good shimmer. One place that I'm not going to do shimmer anymore at my age, personally, is under my brow bone. To me, I like a look that's glamorous, and I'm all about like really pretty, fun, you know, glam looks or natural, whichever you like. But when I see an eye full of very shimmery, and then it's all the way under the brow bone, it feels, I'm noticing somebody's makeup instead of the beautiful shape of somebody's eye. So for under my brow, I will always use either a translucent powder or a matte powder. And I will take a flat brush like this. And tonight I'm gonna use, hi Terry, it's okay, you didn't miss everything. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna use the translucent powder. By the way, her powder is fabulous. I will set this look tonight. This is the medium dark. I'm gonna use the medium dark. This is the fair and the light. But I'm gonna take and I'm just gonna swirl it. Look how much product that picks up. Now I'm gonna load the brush and I'm gonna tap off the extra. Look at how much different. I'm just gonna put it on this side so you can see. If you're just swirling, that's what you're putting on compared to that. So you see how this is sitting on top of the brush and this is actually in the brush? That's why we tap, because we're loading the powder into the brush. And for that really like pretty kind of sculpted brow look, I just take that and I will raise my eye a little and I'll go right to the bottom and I'll lightly outline. And then remember, if you want it to be more lifted, I'm gonna do it one more time. Lightly outline. That's that side. Now I'm gonna go to the matte side. I'm not gonna go too long over, right? Michelle, you're so sweet. I'm so happy that these shows have been helpful. It makes me feel really good when you guys enjoy the tips. I know through my career, if you're meeting me for the first time tonight, I have been a home shopping television host, or was a full-time home shopping television host for 14 years. I left the network around 4 years ago, started, well, bounced around corporate a little bit, and then started my own company working with brands that I like really love and I use. And I only work with 2 beauty brands. Both of them are clean beauty. Both of them are really high quality. Both of them are family oriented, family owned. Both of them are very, very picky about the ingredients. They don't have a huge product assortment. They're pretty narrowed in. They know exactly what they are. So that's where my love of beauty comes from, and from my mom. I grew up watching my mom do her makeup. Also, I don't know, did I ever tell you guys that I modeled when I was younger. I started working on camera when I was 9. That was the first time I ever did a modeling job. So I've worked on camera for a pretty long time. Love your makeup shows. Any cooking shows in the future? They can't stop me. Hey, Dave, the baked potato.
Oh, it was very good.
You guys, tonight, I knew I was going to run long. I promise I'm going to get back to makeup in just a second. But if you have our oils, if you've got the Tuscan oil, I made Dave and I a snack before the show tonight, and I scrubbed the potatoes really, really good, soaked them in water for a little bit, got all the dirt off. Then I put them in a plastic Ziploc baggie. I poured in some Tuscan oil. I shook, and then I put in some pink Himalayan salt and some of the Tuscan seasoning. So it got on the outside. I baked the potato until it was crispy, sliced it open, put some salted whole butter in it, and then this is my first time watching Who's Dave?
Hello.
Come on out, Dave.
Come on.
Dave is my helper, producer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Dave
Whatever
helps
you
me
need.
with all the technical stuff.
But
This
I
is
do
Dave.
need a refill, Heather.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It's Dave's birthday on Wednesday, so
Cheers, everybody.
I think there's a little more on the countertop. Dave, help
Okay,
yourself.
That's good.
Anyways, then I baked a potato, sliced it, put the salted butter in, did a couple scoops of organic cottage cheese, and then put more of the Tuscan seasoning on it.
It was really good.
And Dave's Italian, so he
That's
says it was
right.
good. Somebody says, happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you, Karen.
I'm just going to finish this eye really quick. So over here, because we're doing cool, I'm going to go with the lighter shade. It's ivory, but it's got a little bit of a pink tone to it. And I'm going to show again. If I only swirl, that's what it looks like. When I tap, you can see how the product starts to fall down into the brush. And then I tap. And again, a gentle touch, because we don't want, see if I don't blend, it's got a pretty severe line. Go like that, and kind of blend it out. And then if I wanted to, I could do the same thing with my pinky. Right to the inside. You guys, that eye cream mixed with some of that shimmer, look at that, not a crease. That is a good little hack. And this you can just kind of tap, and then I'll take my brush. Tap. Someone says that baked potato sounds delicious. Okay, so now I've kind of lightened that, and you can see the lines for me are a little harsh, so I'm going to just go in with a clean brush. My makeup cleaner is not for sale, by the way. I know that's horrible, but Tammy. Yeah. Yes, Tammy. Nancy says, oh, no wonder I like you, Dave. She's a fellow Italian.
Yes.
I'm just going to blend real quickly. So, and never in. Always small circles, blending out and blending up. So there's our shimmer. There's our matte. There's kind of a finished look. Have you ever used an eyelash curler? Yes, I have. I like eyelash curlers. Have you ever used your eyelash curler and blasted it with your blow dryer for a second and heated it up? That'll really curl your lashes. I do the whitish in the corners of my eyes. That's a great idea. You know what else you can do? Oh gosh, now you guys got me going. Hold on a minute. Who gave me that idea? Annie in Missouri, of course you did. This is just like a little foam. You can take this golden shimmer and you can do like that right to the center. I'm going to do the other one. I just might have a date tonight. So yes, Famous Wheat, I have used eyelash curlers. A makeup artist told me, or taught me actually, She blasted it with her dryer, touched it to make sure it wasn't too hot, and then curled my lashes, and it was nice. It made a big difference. Okay. Yes, I think you're aging us. Now I'm gonna just do a quick little dusting. So I wanna make sure that I don't have any fallout under the eyes. You can take a clean brush and just sort of do like that. And I'm gonna take a fluffy brush, tap, 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 cover up here. If you want to, we do include, these are so old school, I love them. These actually lay the product down really nicely as well. So there's like the finished, and then I'll go under here. Finish there, almost done. Swirl and swirl. I just need some lipstick and a mascara. Suzanne's mascara. Beautiful formula. It's organic, it defines, there's aloe, there's cocoa butter. It is a buildable formula. So it comes out pretty wet. What I like to do is I will take this and I will take a Kleenex and I will run the brush through. Now look at how much product. And there is still plenty of mascara on that brush. So I'll go to the bases and kind of wiggle, 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 wiggle. I'll work my way up. I'll hit the tip a couple of times. And now I'm just going to let it dry. I'm going to go back in so I can get the other eye. Same thing. If you want that much mascara, you could certainly do it. I like to use it and build. So I'm going to take lint-free, simple. You can also use a microfiber cloth. You can either take the end. This brush has a beautiful, it's got so many little tiny fibers. And you can go all the way to the base. And if you kind of wiggle down at the base like that, what you're doing is, again, you're setting that base, you're setting that foundation. And then I'll go to the tips. Make sure that they don't get clumpy. Separate them out at the end. Now I'm gonna let them dry in between. Let those dry for a couple of minutes. This mascara is incredible. I started wearing contact lenses, mainly because I was driving myself crazy. I was losing my glasses all the time. They had makeup on them. I was a mess. And I wanted to be able to see without constantly putting my glasses off and on. So I started wearing contacts, and I have to be even more careful now with my mascara. And it's contact lens friendly, yay! This time, it's my second coat. So this time I'm gonna let it be a little more glamorous. That first coat, if you kind of thin it out a little bit, it's almost like you're priming your lashes. And the shape of this wand gets in and grabs every single lash, and then kind of just hit the little ends. Kind of hit the ends like that. I'll do one more on this side. Now I am off next Monday, okay? But I will return the Monday after that. I believe it's August 3rd. Dave will be the ripe old age of 39 by then. So we'll see what kind of wisdom Dave can share with us. Dave, the wisdom I would impart on you for your birthday is when you feel that you're faced with an obstacle, stop and ask yourself, will this matter in 5 minutes?
That's a good one.
In 5 hours? In 5 days? In 5 months? Or in 5 years? That has helped me kind of calm, breathe, remember the important things in life. Very rarely will I think of that problem in the same scope as I did.
I like that.
Date night right now. Move it to after the show. Oh, I do love you. Date night is right now, Michelle. You are all so fun. I just have to pop a lipstick on. So, there we go. Did somebody have a question?
Should mascara? I have it here.
Well, it's not really, I mean, that is definitely up to you if you think that it's wasting it. I'm not saying that so that you have to buy more. For me, there's so much product that goes onto the brush. I like to thin it out because it really grips the brush. It's a beautiful mascara formula. So in no means am I suggesting that you have to buy more mascara because you're wasting it. I did that so that it thins it out. It separates your lashes more beautifully. It applies a very thin layer. You let that dry. And then the second swipe that you put on, they just end up filling out a little bit better. You don't have to follow that advice if you don't agree with it. But really, it was just me wanting to give you guys some tips and tricks. So by all means, use the mascara at full force every single time if that's what makes you happy. I'm sure it's going to look beautiful on you. Okay. Famous Sweet, someone says, you could pass for 35, Dave. 35.
They're talking about you.
They're not talking about me. Famous Sweet, you were... I don't even know if I'm 53 or 54. I can't pass for nothing. Okay, I'm out of time, but can I just tell you guys something really quick? I traveled this last week, and my daughter, Bailey, came with me. I'm going to try to get her to come on and do a makeup. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm going to try to get her to come on and do a makeup tutorial with me. I want to bring in my daughter, Gabriella, who is a makeup influencer. Like, she is the real deal. And then my daughter, Bailey, who loves makeup, stay-at-home mom, or not stay-at-home mom. She is stay-at-home mom and works full-time in medical device sales. She's got 3 kids. But I went on a trip with Bailey, and we brought my granddaughter, Coco. I'm not saying she's mean. I would never say that. Only her mom says she's mean. But Coco, we got upgraded on the flight out there, which was amazing. So Coco, like, my granddaughter's almost 1. She's another little Leo. She's almost 1, and when somebody looks at her, she'll go, and then they'll look at her, and for some reason she goes, and gives them like this curled up, like, huh? And then she found her voice. So what she was doing at every restaurant is she would look around. She looks just like the Gerber baby. She'd look around, she'd make her sounds, and then when someone would look, she'd do this, and then she would smile, and then she would scream at the top of her lungs. That's little Coco. I'll bring Coco on too. All right, it's time for my date. Thank you for spending your Monday with me. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy all of you so, so, so much. And Dave, we all hope that you have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you.
Celebrate you. Celebrate all the wonderful things that Dave is. I love you all. Happy shopping. This is all available at SuzanneSummers.com. And I will see you guys back, I believe. Is that August 3rd? I think it's August 3rd.
That's right.
Yeah. Not next Monday, but the Monday after. Okay. Mwah. Good night, everybody.